Since late 2007, he has been the general manager of WCBD-TV here in Charleston. And in this edition of Quintin Reports, I talk with Rick Lips about his love for hiking, his time in Ohio, and the station's switch to high definition. Well, listen, Rick, I understand that you have been the vice president and general manager of WCBD since late 2008.
Late 2007, actually.
Oh, okay.
Actually, I'm approaching, I think this will be I'm in my fifth year.
Really?
Yes.
How's that going?
Well, it's great. It's flying by.
Yes.
It has really gone by quick, but what a great place to have time going by in. Charleston is fantastic. It took me a long time to get here, but I'm glad I finally did.
Well, as a matter of fact, you guys did something very historic last Sunday, actually. You guys actually switched over to high definition.
Finally.
Yeah. How's that going?
It is going great. I went for so many years thinking, do people really care? My kids were telling me I was ancient, saying, Dad, come on, everybody's HD. And unfortunately, from a business point of view for us, since this is a fairly new building here, we still had a lot of equipment and stuff that wasn't that old. Wow. So it didn't make sense for us to throw out a bunch of equipment that wasn't even 10 years old, which with electronics is not that old, for new equipment. So we kind of had to wait. So we're late getting in the game.
Okay.
But now, consequently, we've leapfrogged and have newer equipment. Instead of having older equipment than everybody, we have newer equipment now. So, down the road, that'll change again. But but it's been great. Boy, you look at our signal. It's nice to be widescreen. It's nice to see everybody in such, and all buy new makeup. And get the lighting different and everything.
Yeah, I've noticed the difference, and it's magnificent. It really is.
It really is. It amazes me.
Well, let's put on your memory hat for just a moment.
Uh-oh.
Tell me, what led you to WCBD in Charleston?
Oh man. Well, I've been around a lot.
Okay.
I'm an old man in this business, but I've worked in everywhere from Louisiana to Texas to Tennessee to Iowa to Ohio, Missouri.
That's right.
And before this, I hate to say it because people roll their eyes. Oh, another one. But I came here from Ohio. I was in Toledo, Ohio, but I'd only been there 3 years. So, I'm not a Buckeye, I'm not an Ohio guy, I didn't have any allegiance there, I just was passing through.
Yes.
And literally out of the blue, I got a call from someone, I guess a headhunter, I'm not even really sure who it was, asking if I'd be interested in a job in Charleston, South Carolina.
Yes.
And at the time, honestly, I'd never been here.
Wow.
Never been here, never really heard of it. I'd heard of it, but
I
I didn't know anything about it. And I at first thought, geez, that's a small market, little southern town, I don't know. And so they called, and I didn't even want to take time off for work, so I flew in literally on a late Friday night and interviewed Saturday morning.
Wow.
And got in the airport, drove over the bridge, put me up at Patriots Point. I'm like, okay, this will be okay. I could live here.
Absolutely.
So.
Well, I understand that you did work at WNWO in Ohio.
Yes.
And I understand, too, that you had some problems with the ratings there. How did you weather that storm? And what did you learn from it?
Well, it's a lot of things. When you're not in a metered market, and the bigger markets are metered, so you see every day what's really going on. This is a diary market, and so is Toledo. And what it is, that becomes a popularity contest. So with anchors and newscasts and a lot of things, it can become tenure over talent. People will watch and write down that they're watching who they're familiar with, or who they just is kind of top of mind. It almost becomes just a popularity contest. And WNWO had really only had news for less than 10 years. They were late in the game. Even though it was an NBC affiliate, it really had never established an audience. So that was really tough. But you know what? Rating points are the commodity you sell.
Yes.
But bottom line, really the key is getting results.
Sure.
And, as much as maybe it's not what people tend to think, if you're number one in service, if you treat people right, if you do the right thing, if people want to do business with you, they'll figure out a way to do business with you.
Absolutely.
So that's really what I try to tell the people here, what I tell the people in Ohio, anywhere. You know what? There's always going to be a number one, a number two, a number three.
Yeah.
But if you're the one people want to do business with, they're going to figure out a reason why. And you know what? Even if we're the number 3 station, we're still the number 3 best buy in town over any other medium.
That's right.
I mean, TV, I mean, people talk about the demise of TV. Oh, it's not what it used to be. You got the internet and
Right.
stuff. Well, yeah, so instead of being the 900-pound gorilla, it's the 850-pound gorilla.
Yeah.
It's still way better than anything
That's
else.
true.
So,
And people, you can't get local news just anywhere.
right.
Yeah.
I agree.
Well, listen, I also understand that you.
If you want to see what's going on in the world, you listen to your all your stuff. If you want to know what's going on here locally, you watch us.
There you go. Absolutely. I like that.
Yeah.
Well, I understand you worked at a station in Texas.
Yes.
KLBK.
Yes.
And you were there when they actually purchased. Well, the station was sold 3 times when you were there.
Yes, it was sold. Actually, I went there. Let's see, under one owner. Then it was sold.
Wow.
Yeah, it was sold 3 times while I was there. So that there's weather in a storm, because everybody that came in said, "Well, Rick, you're the general manager, so we're probably going to replace you." Then they'd get in, and they never replaced me. I was very fortunate. I went through a period of time where, we kept growing cash flow, kept doing good things.
Yes.
Ratings were much better than the station maybe should have had. We did really good things with news.
Yes.
It was where I first really learned and was able to prove that weather is king.
Yes.
If you can be number one in weather, that's the real reason people watch a lot of local stuff. So I'm a big believer in weather. We get a lot of people that call and don't call me nice names whenever I run stuff across the screen or break in with weather cut-ins. But you know what? You got to set up that expectation that maybe I'm interrupting your favorite program and it's sunny outside of your house, even though there's a tornado somewhere else. But then when there's bad weather at your house, you can depend on us.
There you go.
We were there when you didn't need us, but we're also there when you do need us.
Absolutely.
So we're setting that up.
Well, how frustrating was that to be at a station that was sold by 3 owners?
Oh, it's very frustrating because it what it does is it unnecessarily eats into your time. I don't want to say it takes your eye off the ball, but it does, because you between the worry personally of job and family and all that, you've just got all the headaches and hassles of learning a new system, a new boss, new ways of doing things, what their expectations are, how they want things done. So, you're constantly kind of trying to redo, reinvigorate, refix, whatever.
Yes.
And that's tough.
Yes.
But it all worked out.
Yeah. Well, I learned also that you took something from Ohio and brought it here at WCBD, but I think it was something that they always did, but they, it just restarted recently, and that is editorials.
Oh, yes.
Go ahead, tell me about that.
Well, honestly, talk a little competitively here. It's really a Raycom thing. I worked for Raycom at 3 different stations.
Yes.
Where I was a Raycom, and Raycom has at least used to asked all their general managers or somebody at the station outside of news to do editorials, which I think is a great thing, because if I had to give any bad rap to television news, it's just kind of sound bites, and people more or less passively watch it. You think about somebody just sits back in their easy chair and just listens to us throw facts at you.
Right.
And they just, you may nod and say, yeah, I agree, oh, I don't agree, or yeah, whatever, but that's about it. And I'm like, unfortunately, news people, they have to be unbiased. They can't have an opinion. They just have to report the facts.
There you go.
Well, I'm allowed to have an opinion. I'm not in the news department. So as soon as the news is over, I come on once a week with my 2 cents, and you know what? I don't really care whether you agree or disagree. I just want you to, get engaged. I just want people to engage in the world.
How was that?
I do what?
How was that?
How old?
No, how was it?
How is it?
Yeah,
It's great.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I get emails.
Yeah.
I get people, telling me, yeah, Rick, I agree, or I get to, you're crazy, and I'm like, and when they tell me that, I'm happy.
Yes.
In fact, I invite them. I say, hey, you want to come on and give your 2 cents?
Yes.
And I've had a few people do it, but to me, it gets viewers engaged, and I really want that. I have some people thinking, what are you doing there? But it's just, I don't want people just sitting listening to the news. I want them to have an opinion. If that means they get up out of their chair and point at the TV and say, that Rick Lips is an idiot, I can't believe it, then good. At least you're thinking.
At least people are watching.
Yeah, well, but they're also thinking.
That's
they're thinking
right.
about what they're watching.
That's right.
And so that's really what I want.
Yes.
And that's why I do it. I think it was done more years ago.
Yes.
And you don't see it much these days.
Right.
And it's not something I really enjoy doing.
Okay.
Because it's just not my nature to do a camera. It's not my nature to write or
Yes.
come up with ideas. But I do it, and I think it's a good service.
Well, for most of your career, you spent it in the Midwest. from
Yeah.
Iowa to
Yeah,
Texas. It seems to me that you have a love for the Midwest. Do you?
I do. I grew up in Illinois. I went to school in Florida.
Okay.
But I grew up in Illinois, Southern Illinois, little
Yes.
town. So I'm a Midwestern guy. I guess this is not the. I'm in the Southeast now, but I'm a shrimp and grits guy now.
Really?
Oh man.
That is a favorite around here.
Oh, I never heard of it. It doesn't even seem. Now it just seems like a natural thing to say, but
Yeah.
when you first hear about it, shrimp and grits, I
and
thought
it
it.
sounds odd.
Only thing I'd ever heard of grits was I thought it was a breakfast.
Right.
You get eggs and grits and bacon, and then shrimp. But man, when I gained about 15 pounds my first year because I ate shrimp and grits everywhere I saw
Really?
it. I think it's great.
Yeah.
I tried cooking it.
Yeah.
But no, I love seafood. I love
Yeah.
shrimp, and so I like the Southeast.
Well, another thing that you love, from what I heard, is college football.
Oh yeah.
Tell me about that.
Well, that's and I think with a lot of people, especially in the Southeast.
Yes.
I mean, I've always been a football fan. Football's definitely my favorite
Yes.
sport. And I've got my pro football teams. I'm a Dallas Cowboy fan, so from my Texas days. And I went to Florida State,
That's
so
right.
I'm a Seminole. But there's nothing better than college football. And this, even though Charleston doesn't have a team, that's when I was in Toledo, I was close to Michigan, or they actually had a small team too. But in Texas, I had Texas Tech, and when I was in Knoxville, I had Tennessee.
Yes,
and
yeah.
But here, even though there's no team, boy, between the ACC and the SEC,
Yeah.
everybody here's a Gamecock or
Yes,
Clemson. Or, I don't run into very many Florida State fans.
Really?
I don't know, even not that far away, but not too many Florida State. But I try to get down there for a game or two. I went to my first Gamecock game last year, so I
Really?
went up and saw South Carolina play Florida.
Did you go with Rob Fowler?
Yeah, I did. I rode up with Rob, and he had me up at like 7 a.m.
Oh.
Yeah, Rick, we got to go early, and so I
Wow.
did. But
I'm sure you had a good time.
I had a great time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to going to seeing them again. And there's nothing beats college football.
Yes.
I mean, from the tailgate parties to the games to the just whether it's on TV or in person. I'll go watch live any college football game I can. Anywhere.
I want to do that one day.
You know?
I want to.
Yeah.
Well, talk to me about your time at the Florida State University.
Oh, that was 100 years ago. I can remember or think I can remember. I was in high school in the early 70s. If you ever watch that 70s show, that's me.
Yes.
So I remember taking the ACT test in the early 70s, and you'd write down, to send it to any colleges that matched your interest or whatever.
Sure.
I got one back, and it was from
Wow.
Florida State University in Tallahassee, Florida.
Wow.
And they just pre-accepted me, just pending graduation, just
Yes.
based on my ACT. And I'm like, enough said. Florida, for some kid in Southern Illinois,
Yeah.
you just go to Florida.
Florida,
That
yeah.
was a place you went on vacations.
Vacations,
is
Laguna
all I-
Beach,
yeah,
yeah.
So I accepted and never applied to another college. I went down there in '75 and was on the 5-year program and enjoyed it immensely.
I also heard that you have a
Degrees in biology.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So how did you get into television news?
I don't think you have enough time for that. But
Well, this is a web show, yeah.
yeah. My major's in biology and my minor's in math and chemistry.
Oh, wow.
And I wanted to work at SeaWorld.
Really?
Yeah. And I spent my last year in college kind of working with a professor in genetic engineering.
Yes.
Working with petri dishes, trying
Right.
to get bacteria to become resistant to different antibiotics and stuff.
Yes.
But I wanted to work with dolphins or something, I wanted to be that guy.
Right.
So I got in my car when I graduated and drove out to California.
Right.
First went to LA, spent a couple of weeks, then I went down and got a job at a hotel in San Diego, and as a bellboy and elevator operator. It had a big disco. This was the disco era, roofless disco on the top. And I would take people at night up on the elevator and take
Yeah.
them back down.
Wow.
Great job for a single guy.
I
mean,
bet.
it was an excellent job.
You talked to a lot of people,
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
And I had a key to the health spa and
Wow.
everything. Excellent job.
Yeah.
But they wanted me to have a master's degree to work at SeaWorld. I went and applied, and they said master's. All I had was a bachelor's.
Right.
The guy that owned the hotel owned TV stations, or a TV station at
Wow.
the time, and he owned one in Dothan, Alabama,
Yes.
which just by coincidence was only about 90 miles from Tallahassee. And I was working the front desk of the hotel in San Diego one time, telling him about that, and he just said, well, hey, if you want to get your master's, what you could do is you could go, I'd give you a job at my TV station, and on your days off, you could, because I told him I needed to get a job in Tallahassee to be able to afford to go back and get my master's degree.
Yeah.
So he said on your days off in Dothan, you can drive down, and then once you get a job in Tallahassee, you can quit the TV job and be in Tallahassee,
Yeah.
but you'll at least be closer.
Right.
I'm like, okay, so I get in my car and drive all the way back across country and I run camera and do the overnight, midnight to 7 a.m. shift in at a CBS affiliate in Dothan, Alabama, and never quit.
Wow. You know, I also know that you have a love for hiking.
I don't know how you heard that, but I do. But I do. Where did you get all this? Who
I
you
did all
talking
the
to?
research.
Who in the world have you
Like
been talking
Facebook,
to?
all yeah.
No, I do love hiking.
Okay.
And I don't ever get to do it, and I've only like 2 or 3 times since I've lived here. I've tried going up in like the Francis Marion here and stuff, and it's nice, but it's I haven't really found anything that I really like. And I also like biking and stuff. But Charleston is not bicycle friendly.
No, not at all.
I wish there was more. Some of the, Ohio, Iowa, there's just miles and miles of nice trails through the woods and forests and everything. Some of the states and towns have it great. Charleston, I think, is trying to get there, but they're not there yet.
It's going to take some time.
I've only been up a couple of times to the. I just went up over 4th of July to a town, Cashiers.
North Carolina.
Yeah. They had a bluegrass festival, but it's up in the mountains with the bluegrass festival, and hiked around in the mountains. And to me, that's just gorgeous. If I could have a place up there and live here and be able to go up there on weekends and hike around, that would be ideal.
I think you'll do it.
Yeah, that would be ideal.
Well, describe to me the following in one word: Florida State. One word to describe Florida State.
Keep going back to Florida State.
Okay, yeah. I love that place too.
I hate to say just fun.
Yes.
But that's what I guess say fun, because everything about it was fun. The friends I made, the education I got, the experience there, it was just fun. I mean, I still have my best friend probably is an attorney down there that I went to school with.
Really?
We see each other once or twice a year is all, but
yeah.
my youngest son just graduated from there.
So you have the whole family's part of it.
I have 2 boys, and one of them went there for a semester and didn't like it, and he ended up at Texas as a Longhorn.
Okay.
But the other one went there for his whole time, just graduated in April, and he's living in Atlanta, has a job now.
That is awesome. Well, one word to describe television.
Changing.
Yeah, you're right.
Changing very much. I mean, it is talk about a different thing. I mean, they say that now there's technology. We'll be able to watch it whenever it comes to Charleston on this phone, or you can watch it in a lot of different ways anyway. You can watch it on the internet. It's changing, but like I said earlier, it's still the greatest gig going, and it's still the best mass media. It's still the quickest and most efficient way to reach people, whether you're entertaining them or selling them a car.
Right.
It's the way to go, and I love it because it's different every day.
Yes.
It's great that we're this whole project to go in HD. A lot of people worked very hard. The weekend we did it on, there were people working 24 hours a day here, switching cables and stuff. But still to get excited and see it. And I got to tell you, I know you know them, but I've got the best crew here in the world.
I agree. That's why
they are right. They are great. I mean, Rob Fowler, what a great guy, and Carolyn and Brendan.
Right.
I mean, they're just
Brad
and Josh in the morning. It's great.
Yes. One word to describe WCBD-TV.
Best job I ever had.
I bet.
Well, look at my stand right now. But the bridge, and,
right there. That's your backyard.
I can walk out and go run the bridge,
That's right.
and of course I just get started. And you're already over that.
He knows I'm a runner.
I've made it over, and I can make it most of the way back. On a good day, I can make it back if I kind of go slow.
Yes.
My goal is to break an hour on the bridge run.
I think you will. I've been doing it for 12 years now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you can do it. You'll probably beat me.
And Carolyn, she probably runs it 2 or 3 times before she breaks a sweat.
Yes.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's her. She's amazing.
Oh, I know. Now she's doing this hot yoga stuff.
Yoga,
So
yeah.
she's running and doing yoga, and it's like,
I'll take that any day.
I agree.
One word to describe Rick Lips.
Ah. Down to earth. That's
Right.
not one word, but
Well,
but I do try to be. I try to. You know. I think everybody is important.
Yes.
I think that, you know, everybody is special in their own way, and I think, you know, it's never wrong to treat somebody right, and I'm a big believer in
That is awesome. You know, I know you are a general manager here at Channel 2,
that. Right.
and you have been in the television business for so many years. But what's the next chapter for Rick Lips?
You know, I don't know. I might be running out of time for chapters. I don't know, but no, I guess you know, that's not a good way to do it. You know what? I could see doing this for a long time,
Yeah.
but you know what? I'm not in. I would think if I got out of the TV business, I would like to get into.
I'll go back to SeaWorld.
If I could go back to SeaWorld, I'd probably quit tomorrow if I could go swim with the dolphins.
Wow.
I would probably quit
That'd be
tomorrow.
nice. Yeah.
But either that or do something that I try to tell people, you know, and in fact, I didn't realize it, but Carolyn was showing me a book that actually said it, but I've always told people I'd rather be significant than successful. And
I like that.
I mean, you need money. Money's nice. Money doesn't provide happiness, but it does provide opportunity.
That's true.
And so there's no way of denying that money can provide opportunity. So I like it as much as anybody else. But I would, if I got out of TV, I would like to get into something that I would be proud of the impact it left.
Yes.
And I don't even know what that would be. You know, I'd like to. You know, my dream is I would own a TV station so that I could do that kind of. I could use it and use the influence to better my environment.
I was just thinking about that. That'd be a good idea.
I'm just a few million short. You could just loan me a little bit of money.
Well,
Quintin,
you know.
know.
I'd go to my ATM, you
I
know.
just need a few more zeros in my bank account, and I'd be okay.
I'll see what I can do.
Yeah.
Well, Rick Lips, it was so good talking to you.
It was great talking to you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.